Yeah, I hope that I'm under the watchful eye when I'm speaking or trying to even speak. Yeah. But at least I trying to acknowledge. Okay. Second canto, Puruṣa-sūkta Confirmed. And what is it really confirming? It's really strongly confirming in one of its verses. It's confirming what is obvious within this world. Yeah, the most obvious thing in this world. And that is the sex pleasure. But the sex pleasure, how to properly identify the sex pleasure. An intelligent person would say, you know, like it's chemical, within me it's chemical reaction. Within me it's chemical reaction. The sex pleasure is chemical reaction. It's not me. It's a part. I'm feeling the activation of something. Change of chemicals. It's not me. I'm not the propagator. So this is an energy that in the description of Puruṣa-sūkta Confirmed, there's always the separation. Okay, Krishna is manifesting different forms. He's manifesting even everything in this universe, but it becomes separate. It becomes separate. So that has to be always seen there, that there's some maintenance of separateness. First, we're not the Supreme. We've manifested, but separate, and in between this connection is the three modes of material nature, which are causing the illusion. But in one verse, and even in the purport of Srila Prabhupada, it says that for the purpose of propagating living entities. In other words, if one just goes back to the Vayu Purana, the Vayu Purana, it gives a good description of Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga, everybody's thinking, oh, it's just so beautiful, there's so many trees, there's so many birds, there's so many this, that, and the other. Well, in the cycles, the Kali Yuga cycles and the Maha Yuga cycles and everything, in the cycles, we know that the whole earth becomes burnt. You know, in other words, everything's melted. Everything's melted down. And then, of course, the earth, it's a logical thing. The earth is hot. So she falls into the Garbhodakshayi ocean. At the last one of these partial annihilations, she was plunged into the ocean, actually, by the foot of Hiranyaksha. The earth was pushed by the foot of Hiranyaksha, and she fell into the Garbhodakshayi ocean. Why? To cool off. The whole surface of the earth was just burnt. So then, of course, we know that Varaha puts her up in her place. And it doesn't mention all of Jambudweep. It only mentions a certain portion of Jambudweep, the middle part. So we could conclude that only the middle part was pushed down, not the whole thing. It gives more of a vision of flatness. instead of a roundness, you know. Because if you can't do that with a round spear, you cannot push just this earth, which we know, into the Garbhodakshay Ocean without pushing all of Jambudvip into the Garbhodakshay Ocean. And Satrughna's deity that was given to him by Sri Ram, it shows the earth is flat. Many others show the earth is round, but that is not wrong either, because it looks round. It gives a perspective of looking round. It can even deceive everybody. So, but Satrughna's deity of Varaha lifting the earth up is, I would accept it more. And let the other ones accept the roundness of this earth, but I would accept more the Satrughna's. So, now the point is how, in Satya Yuga, all of a sudden you're sitting on the edge of the place for where water is and everything, and you have everything you want. And it even says in the Vajrayana Purana that just by, and it wasn't meditation. Meditation means you're probing. Dhyana doesn't mean like the probing, like this, going in. But it means a type of communication that's just natural to you. There was no need for speaking. One person could understand the other easily. So everybody has the same propensities, everybody has the same body, same strength, same intelligence in Satya Yuga. Everything's calm. No evil has come in. And of course, I've already said, the only and greatest evil is I and mine. Once that I and mine starts coming in, then the evil starts manifesting. So here they are, sitting just on the river bank, and the sun, there's seasons, but the sun is not molesting the person. The person could sit out in the middle of the sun, and the sun is giving energy to the body. Yeah, our sun can actually give energy to our body, but because of the propagation of evil, we have put a distance. But the sun can still give us energy. But we aren't able to absorb that energy because of that I and mine, that evil of I and mine. It has to come through that and get to us, and it can't do it. So, you know, the sun isn't the propagator of cancer. Come on, give me a break, you know. No, the sun is there's civilizations that only lived on looking at the sun. So it's our molesting the whole atmosphere with our evils. Okay, so now here is the sun coming down, and the earth, if the person that is sitting there on her, and she's loving that these people are sitting on her, she's giving a liquid out that you can drink, and that gives you everything you need. So tell me, are you going to run around and take a job from somebody and be under somebody else's thumb or something like that, or are you going to defend some country? And no, you're just going to sit around, you know. Just going to sit around and that's it, you know, and do your mantras and do your meditation and do those things. So there was no push for that propagation. So in time, the coding. Now I'm talking about the coding. The coding is actually. The coding is what emanates from Krishna's leelas. you know. And Krishna's high Nikunja Leelas, that coating is like from there. And it is coming down and it is placed on top of the genital. The genital is one thing, the coating is another thing. But the person is, and it's a one way. In other words, the coating can come down, but you can't go up. So it's a one-way vision. Okay, so now it is the activator. And it is a heavy activator. But it has a purpose. And that purpose is that the person should bring different souls into this world. That's my purpose. My purpose was to come here and not only myself, elevate myself, but also bring other living entities within this world. Not to say that you haven't brought in a living entity, you've lost a job, you know, or something like that. No. But that is the reason for this earth. And that is the reason for the coating on top. That is the reason. And the people are identifying with the coating because it gives this, the activator is so powerful, it makes you feel like God. I am God. Oh, I've got 13 children, I must be God. Krishna is maintaining everything, but I am God because I have 13 children. So, the coating should be used in the correct way and understood in the correct way. It's not us. One time, Prabhupada was asked by a devotee about Einstein, you know, because everybody's suffering from that coating. It's pushing us in so many ways, especially if we act wrongly. You know, it really makes us a little crazy and everything. So he asked about, well, you know, what about Einstein? He says, oh, persons like him they're masturbating, but they're mentally masturbating. In other words, they are into their mind so much that their energy that would overtake them and have children and everything, they are using it for doing things in their mind, but it is just as bad. It's a misuse of a certain energy. There's only one right use, and that is to understand God. So also, I could have that same desire of mental masturbation by trying to know God. That energy, if I could propagate it and bring it up, it would not disturb me in the lower chakra. It would come up to the higher chakra and help me enter. So whatever that coating is, we have the abilities to bring it up to higher realms and not leave it down here. So it's a prime thing in human life. Prime. Actually, all the living entities have it. Especially when you see two dogs stuck together. They're definitely thinking they're gods, you know, and they're enjoying it, and many times doing it. So you know, yeah. So the coding should be respected and brought up the chakras and brought up to at least to the higher chakras, you know, the heart or the mind, so that we can use it in a more correct way. Yeah, I hope that gives some explanation, and if anybody has more that they can tell me for me to understand this, please, you know, just feel free. Send me a message or anything like that. It's an important fact. It's an important fact. And you want to use this energy of the Lord. And this makes another point, a very important point, and that's the non-difference. It's the non-difference between the erotic principle and unalloyed devotion. You know, pure devotion and the erotic principle are actually one. Very hard to understand. You can read the little pamphlet by Professor Senyal. Yeah, Professor Senyal gives a nice explanation on the the erotic principle and unalloyed devotion. And let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's about it for today. Yes, the day after Gaur Purnim, the 15th of March, here in Vrindavan. I'm happy to be able to speak to you, and I hope it brings some enlightenment.